Mark here, real big toy collector and also a thrift store junkie. Check out my video I did on the RC Pac-Man set I found at thrift store to give you an idea of the type of junkiness that I display. Anyways, today I wanted to sort of go over my approach, tips as it were, or a guide to how I do toy hunting at thrift stores, so stick around. First thing you're going to do when you get to said thrift store, Goodwill, or whatever it is, there's a bunch in the city where I live, and they're not all Goodwills. They could be anything from Salvation Armies to sort of small franchises, independents. But the first thing you're going to do, and I know this doesn't sound like real advice, but obviously you're going to find the toy section. You're going to head to the toy aisle or wherever they keep the toys. Why? Because that's your best bet to find stuff. Now, what I do, simply up to you if it's different, but I like to walk through kind of quickly and skim the area as fast as possible, walk through, get a sort of idea of what is there, and then I will go back a second time and slowly pick, dig, move things, that sort of approach. Now, right now, there happens to be so much of this Disney Star Wars in toy form out there that it's usually covering up all the cool stuff. You have to literally move these Rey, Poe, and Finn figures and toys and junk out of the way. What's funny is that in the 2000s, it was the exact same thing, but with all prequel characters. You had to move all sorts of Anakins and Obi-Wans and battle droids and stuff like that. Always in the way, piles and piles and piles of that stuff. You're just literally picking it up and hucking it. So I'll do the digging after I do the sort of quick walkthrough, looking for very specific kind of things that stick out. Now, here's where we start getting into kind of the tips. So there's usually a furniture section, and you're going to want to go check the furniture section next, because that is the place where a lot of these thrift stores will put play sets or bigger toys. For example, in the furniture section at the Goodwill by my house, I found one of those giant AT-AT toys that go for, well, at the time they were going for about $200. I think that they've probably doubled since then, but I found it for 20 bucks, and it was just sitting back there next to the bikes because it was so big. Definitely going to want to check out furniture. That's also where they're probably going to put giant doll houses and related things. So that is second on the list of places to go. After that, if you are into like tech deck, I have noticed that they'll take the tech deck and any of the ramps and the sort of play sets for them, and they will actually put them in the sporting goods section. You will walk through and you'll look at golf clubs and tees, and then there'll be some tech deck stuff there. Also, you are going to probably walk through the knickknacks area, because pop culture figurines sometimes will end up next to all the sort of weird porcelain vases and statues and stuff like that. And I have seen cool bases to figures just sitting there with sports memorabilia and ashtrays. So check the knickknacks, and also, if you find like a cool remote control car, like I showed you the remote control set for the Pac-Man stuff I got, well, usually these thrift stores will take the remotes for them and they'll throw them in a pile in electronics. So if you pick up something that has a remote for it and you can't find the remote, you're going to go to the electronics section and see if they just have it in the pile. Best bet. And you may be going there for weeks trying to find it. It may not exist. You don't know. That is part of the fun of the toy hunt. So overall, you could say that it'd be safe to walk through every aisle, because you never know when somebody's going to take something and move it and hide it, come back for it later. But what I'm looking for, what you should be looking for when you do these walkthroughs in thrift stores is, first of all, action figures. You're going to look for G.I. Joes with the small guys, Star Wars with the small guys, a little slightly bigger, the Masters of the Universe guys. You're going to look for robots, as in Gundams. You're going to look for maybe some anime figures. You, of course, can be looking for 12-inch figures, which could be anything from G.I. Joe, which is like kind of a cheap brand, all the way up to like Dragon, which is kind of an expensive brand. I find both all the time. I have found lots of 12-inch figure scores at my local Goodwill. If you have more Goodwills that you can go to than just one, you're going to have a better chance of finding all this stuff in terms of action figures. You're also going to find play sets. This is where you're going to dig up all of your Imaginext play sets, which can all be repainted and repurposed into photography sets for doing toy photography and making your own like little dioramas. And of course, you're also going to find things like vehicles. It's the cheapest way to find vehicles. Vehicles cost are usually pretty big and cost a lot of money to ship. If you can find a vehicle, you know, like vans, cars, motorcycles, ships, all that kind of stuff for $2 to $3, you have no idea how much you're saving on shipping alone. So this is a great place to get vehicles, play sets, action figures, and you can also just find cool stuff that would make great backdrops. It doesn't have to be toy related. It could be fake plants, it could be rocks, it could be little figurines and statues that could just play as some type of set dressing within your world. So with that, I will bid everyone adieu and see everybody on the next one.